There's one more subtle truth that often goes unnoticed on the path of Stoicism, and that is the power of silence. In a world that constantly demands reactions, opinions, and instant responses, choosing silence can be one of the strongest actions you take. Silence is not weakness, it is control. When you resist the urge to respond to every provocation, you protect your energy and maintain your clarity. Not every situation deserves your attention. Not every argument deserves your voice. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Think about how often conflicts escalate, not because of the situation itself, but because of impulsive words spoken in the heat of the moment. Stoicism teaches us to step back, to observe rather than react, to understand rather than immediately judge. In that silence you gain perspective. You allow emotions to settle, and you respond from wisdom rather than impulse. Another often overlooked principle is the importance of self-discipline in the small things. It's easy to think that strength only shows up in life's biggest challenges, but in reality, it is built in the smallest daily actions. Waking up when you said you would, keeping promises to yourself, choosing long-term growth over short-term comfort. These small victories may seem insignificant, but over time they shape your identity. They reinforce the belief that you are in control, that you are reliable, that you are capable. Stoicism is not just about enduring hardship. It's about becoming the kind of person who is prepared for anything. And preparation doesn't happen in dramatic moments. It happens quietly, consistently, every single day. There is also a deeper layer to inner peace, one that goes beyond controlling reactions. And that is detachment. Detachment does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You stop tying your happiness to outcomes you cannot control. You give your best effort, but you release the need for a specific result. This is where true freedom begins. Because when you are no longer controlled by outcomes, you are no longer controlled by fear. Failure loses its power. Rejection loses its sting. Uncertainty loses its grip. You become steady, grounded, unshaken. And perhaps most importantly, Stoicism reminds us of the value of time. Time is the one resource you can never recover. Every moment spent worrying about things you cannot control is a moment lost. Every moment spent dwelling on the past or fearing the future is a moment stolen from the present. The present is where your power lies. It is where your actions take place. It is where your life unfolds. When you learn to fully inhabit the present moment, you realize that many of your worries simply dissolve, because they exist only in imagination, not in reality. So as you continue this journey, remember this: you don't need to control everything. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need life to be perfect. You only need to master yourself, your thoughts, your actions, your perspective. Because when you do that, everything else begins to fall into place. There is also a quiet strength in learning to let go, not just of outcomes, but of the need to always be understood. Many of us suffer not because of what happens, but because we want others to see things exactly as we do. We want validation, agreement, recognition. But Stoicism teaches us that peace comes when we release that need. You can do the right thing and still be misunderstood. You can act with integrity and still be judged unfairly. And that's okay, because your character is not defined by other people's opinions, but by your own actions. When you truly accept this, you stop performing for others and start living for your principles. Another powerful idea is learning to separate effort from identity. Too often we tie our self-worth to success or failure. When things go well, we feel worthy. When they don't, we feel inadequate. But Stoicism invites you to shift that perspective. Your value is not determined by the outcome. It is determined by your effort, your intention, your discipline. Did you act with honesty? Did you give your best? Did you stay true to your values? If the answer is yes, then you have already succeeded. This mindset removes the fear of failure and replaces it with a focus on growth. And when fear disappears, courage naturally takes its place. There is also wisdom in slowing down. Modern life pushes us to move faster, to do more, to constantly chase the next thing. But clarity rarely comes from chaos. It comes from stillness. When you slow down, you begin to notice your thoughts, your habits, your patterns. You become more intentional. Instead of reacting automatically, you start choosing consciously. This is where real transformation happens. Not in moments of intensity, but in moments of awareness. Another essential Stoic practice is negative visualization. At first it may sound counterintuitive. Why think about losing what you have? But this practice is not about pessimism. It's about appreciation and preparedness. When you occasionally imagine life without the people, the comfort, the opportunities you currently have, you develop gratitude. You stop taking things for granted. And at the same time, you prepare your mind so that if change does come, you are not completely shaken. You meet it with strength instead of shock. Stoicism also reminds us to be careful with comparison. In the age of constant information, it's easy to look at others and feel like you are falling behind. But comparison is a trap. It shifts your focus away from your own path. Everyone is walking a different journey, with different struggles, different timing, different goals. When you compare, you lose sight of what truly matters: your growth, your progress, your purpose. Instead, measure yourself against who you were yesterday. That is the only comparison that leads to progress. And finally, there is the principle of acceptance of mortality, a thought many avoid, but one that Stoicism embraces, not to create fear, but to create urgency and clarity. When you remember that your time is limited, you begin to live differently. You stop wasting energy on trivial matters. You stop postponing what truly matters. You become more present, more grateful, more intentional. Every conversation matters more. Every action carries weight. Every moment becomes meaningful. This awareness doesn't darken life. It sharpens it. It reminds you that life is not something to drift through, but something to engage with fully. So as you continue applying these principles, remember that Stoicism is not about perfection. It's about practice. You will still feel anger, fear, doubt. But the difference is, you won't be controlled by them. You will observe, understand, and choose. And in that choice lies your freedom. If this video gave you something to reflect on, like it, share it, and subscribe for more.